The 10 best vitamins to strengthen your legs. Number 8. Few people know. Have you ever felt your legs weaken when climbing a ladder? Ever woken up in the middle of the night with painful cramps that seem to have no end? Or have you noticed that you are avoiding long walks for fear of tripping or falling? If so, you're not alone. Loss of strength in the legs is a common problem with advancing age, but few know that nutrition can be a powerful ally to regain mobility, safety, and autonomy. Is there a simple way to strengthen your legs without relying solely on physical exercise? Today, we are going to reveal the 10 most important nutrients to give firmness, energy, and balance to your legs. These vitamins and minerals act directly on muscles, bones, circulation, and the nervous system. You will understand how to include them in your routine and how they can transform your quality of life. Let's get started. The 10 best vitamins to strengthen your legs. Number 8. Few people know. 1. Vitamin D. The hidden secret to standing up firmly and walking safely. Vitamin D is often associated with bone health, but its role goes far beyond that. It is a true pillar in building strong, stable, and age-resistant legs. When the levels of this vitamin are low, the body begins to show subtle signs. Loss of balance, weakness in the legs, tiredness when walking, and even frequent falls. As we age, our ability to produce vitamin D naturally through the skin, through sun exposure, decreases. In addition, many people spend less time outdoors, whether due to physical limitations, fear of falls, or simply lifestyle changes. The result is a silent but dangerous deficiency that compromises both muscle strength and bone integrity. Scientific studies show that vitamin D is essential for the functioning of type 2 muscle fibers, those responsible for rapid movements and reaction, such as balancing when tripping. Without it, these fibers deteriorate, leaving the legs slower and more vulnerable. In addition, vitamin D improves communication between the nervous system and muscles, optimizing reflexes and coordination. Another important factor is its role in calcium absorption. Without enough of vitamin D, calcium is not properly used by the body, which can lead to bone fragility, chronic pain, and a high risk of fractures. And it doesn't stop there. Vitamin D deficiency is also linked to muscle inflammation, joint pain, and a constant feeling of tiredness in the legs. The good news is that normalizing levels of this vitamin can bring noticeable improvements in a few weeks. For this, moderate exposure to the sun for 15 to 30 minutes a day is recommended, preferably in the early hours of the morning or late afternoon. Foods such as fatty fish, eggs, mushrooms, and fortified products also help, but it is often necessary to supplement, especially in the elderly. Before starting any supplement, it is essential to perform a blood test and seek medical advice. Vitamin D, when used in the correct dose, can transform fragile legs into firm foundations of balance and freedom. 2. Calcium, the invisible shield that protects your legs from fractures and falls. When talking about calcium, the first thought is usually strong bones. But what many people don't realize is that calcium goes far beyond bone structure. It is essential for muscle function, and especially for leg firmness. Without it, the body loses strength, balance, and even the ability to react to small imbalances. Calcium acts as a kind of switch in muscle contractions. Each time you get up from your chair, go up a step, or take a step, calcium is activated so that your muscles contract in a precise and coordinated way. Without enough calcium, the leg muscles don't respond as they should, which can lead to weakness, tremors, and even cramps. With aging, the absorption of calcium by the bones decreases. This makes bone structures more porous and susceptible to fractures, especially in the legs and hips, areas that suffer a great impact in falls. A simple slip can result in serious injuries and a long recovery. That's why keeping your calcium levels up to date is not only a matter of endurance, but also of safety. In addition, calcium interacts with vitamin D to be absorbed effectively. Without enough vitamin D, calcium can be eliminated by the body without being used, which makes the combination between these two nutrients even more important. Food sources rich in calcium include milk, yogurt, cheeses, dark green vegetables like kale and spinach, tofu, sardines, and fortified foods. But not everyone can reach the ideal amount with food alone, especially people with lactose intolerance or restrictive diets. In these cases, supplementation may be indicated, always with professional monitoring. Another fundamental point is that calcium only strengthens bones if there is physical stimulus. That is, without movement, calcium does not attach to bone structures. Therefore, exercises such as walking, lightweight training, or controlled impact activities are indispensable to enhance their effects. Calcium is a true invisible protector. When present in the right amounts, it keeps your legs steady, reactive, and prepared for any everyday challenge. 3. Vitamin B12, the silent key to preventing weakness and tingling in the legs. Imagine feeling your legs heavy, with frequent tingling, loss of balance and fatigue that seems to have no end. These symptoms can be mistaken for natural aging, but they are often a sign of vitamin B12 deficiency, an essential and unfortunately neglected nutrient. Vitamin B12 has a vital function in the nervous system. It protects the nerves with a layer called the myelin sheath, which ensures the fast and efficient transmission of impulses between the brain and the muscles. When this protection fails, the signals do not reach the legs correctly. The result? Weakness, difficulty walking, imbalance, numbness, and even falls. Over time, this deficiency can seriously affect coordination and autonomy. The problem is that the absorption of vitamin B12 depends on a proper functioning of the stomach. As we age, gastric acid production decreases, making it difficult to extract B12 from food. In addition, the continuous use of medications such as omeprazole or antacids can further reduce this absorption. This is why B12 deficiency is common, silent, and dangerous in people over the age of 50. Prolonged deficiency can even cause irreversible neurological damage if not detected and treated in time. To identify the deficiency, a simple blood test is enough. The initial symptoms often disappear quickly after correcting the vitamin level, and the sooner this correction happens, the greater the benefits. Foods rich in vitamin B12 include lean meats, eggs, milk, cheese, and seafood. But those who follow a vegetarian or vegan diet need extra attention, as B12 is present almost exclusively in animal products. In these cases, supplementation is indispensable. There are also injectable forms of vitamin B12, which are very effective for people with low intestinal absorption. With medical guidance, it is possible to find the best form of replacement for each case. Strengthening your legs starts with your brain and nerves, and vitamin B12 is the link that ensures this connection. When your levels are adequate, your muscles respond better, your reflexes improve, and the feeling of firmness when walking is part of your routine again. 4. Magnesium, the natural relaxant that wards off cramps and restores lightness to your walk. If you've ever woken up in the middle of the night with a sudden, painful leg cramp, you know how uncomfortable it can be. This discomfort, so common, can be linked to something simple: the lack of magnesium. This mineral is a true conductor of the muscular system. It coordinates relaxation after each contraction, balancing tension in the muscles and preventing involuntary spasms. When magnesium levels are low, muscles become overactive and sensitive, leading to cramps, stiffness, and even uncoordinated movements. In addition, magnesium participates in the production of energy in muscle cells. Without it, the leg muscles tire easily, even after light activities such as a short walk or a stair climb. This is why many people report feeling of heaviness or constant fatigue in their legs. But magnesium's role goes beyond muscles. It also supports bone health by regulating calcium absorption and helping to maintain the balance between strength and flexibility. That is, without enough magnesium, calcium can accumulate in the wrong places, such as in joints or arteries, instead of being directed to the bones. Unfortunately, magnesium is one of the most frequently deficient minerals in the modern diet. This is because it is easily eliminated in stressful situations, use of medications such as diuretics, or diets low in vegetables and seeds. Among the most common signs of its deficiency are insomnia, muscle fatigue, tremors, night cramps, and irritability. The good news is that magnesium replacement can bring almost immediate relief. Foods like spinach, avocados, bananas, black beans, pumpkin seeds, and chestnuts are great natural sources. For those who have difficulty consuming these foods regularly, magnesium supplements, especially in citrate or glycinate forms, are well tolerated and effective. It is always important to talk to a healthcare professional before starting any supplementation. But by regaining optimal magnesium levels, you will be able to feel your legs lighter, with less cramps, more energy, and much more willingness to move freely. 5. Potassium, the element that brings back the strength and control of your steps. Have you ever felt that sudden and painful contraction in your calf right when you wake up? Or maybe you've noticed your legs shaking or unsteady when standing for too long. These symptoms can be linked to an imbalance of potassium, one of the most essential minerals for muscle control and motor coordination. Potassium acts directly in the communication between nerves and muscles. It regulates the electrical signals that tell the muscles when to contract and when to relax. When it is at proper levels, the movements are smooth, precise, and stable. But when potassium is low, nerve signals become disorganized, which can cause cramps, muscle weakness, tremors, and even difficulty lifting your feet when walking. In older people, this breakdown in communication between brain and muscle significantly increases the risk of stumbling and falling. In addition, potassium helps balance fluids within cells, preventing fluid buildup in the legs, a common problem that causes bloating, heaviness, and limits mobility. But the benefits of potassium don't stop there. It also helps maintain bone density by neutralizing acids in the body that, in excess, can weaken bones over time. In other words, potassium is more than a muscle mineral. It acts in harmony with calcium and magnesium to keep legs strong, resistant, and agile. Potassium deficiency can be caused by several factors, such as dehydration, use of diuretics, poor diet, or even health conditions such as hypertension and kidney disease. Fortunately, nature offers a vast list of foods rich in potassium and easy to include in everyday life. Bananas, avocados, sweet potatoes, spinach, beans, oranges, and coconut water are all excellent options. A varied diet rich in vegetables and fruits may be enough to maintain optimal levels. However, in cases of severe deficiency, it may be necessary to supplement, always with medical advice, as excess potassium can also be dangerous. Balancing potassium is like adjusting the right volume of a muscular orchestra. With it, your legs work with precision, endurance, and stability, and each step is firm, confident, and secure again. 6. Vitamin K, the component that directs calcium to where your legs need it most. When we talk about calcium, we immediately think of strong bones. But what few know is that calcium only gets to the right place, the bones, with the fundamental help of vitamin K. Without it, calcium can be deposited where it shouldn't, in the arteries, joints, or soft tissues, which can cause stiffness, pain, and even cardiovascular problems. Vitamin K acts as a kind of guide in the body. It activates a protein called osteocalcin, responsible for fixing calcium directly in the bone matrix. This makes bones denser, more resilient, and less prone to fractures, especially in the legs and hips, critical areas for those who want to maintain mobility over the years. But the benefits of vitamin K don't stop at bone health. Recent studies show that it also plays an important role in muscle strength and motor coordination. It contributes to the proper functioning of muscle cells, improving reflexes and reducing the risk of falls, especially in elderly people. In addition, vitamin K has anti-inflammatory properties that help relieve pain in joints, such as the knees, and contribute to flexibility. If you experience stiffness when standing up, or difficulty bending your legs after a while of sitting, a lack of vitamin K may be involved. There are two main types of vitamin K, K1 and K2. Vitamin K1 is mainly present in dark green vegetables, such as spinach, kale, broccoli, arugula, and lettuce. K2 is found in fermented foods such as natto, a Japanese soy-based dish, cured cheeses, egg yolks, and liver. K2 is particularly efficient. as it remains active longer in the body and has a greater affinity with bone tissue. Vitamin K deficiency is more common than you might think, especially in people who have digestive problems, take antibiotics for a long time, or consume few leafy greens. To ensure good absorption, it's ideal to combine your intake with healthy fat sources such as olive oil or avocado. But beware, if you use blood thinners, such as warfarin, it is essential to talk to your doctor before increasing your vitamin K intake, as it directly influences blood clotting. With vitamin K acting correctly, calcium goes where it should, bones gain strength, and legs regain their support structure. She is the one who helps to keep each step firm and each movement freer. 7. Vitamin B6, the nervous system food that improves your coordination and energy. Have you ever felt your legs disconnected from your body, as if they don't accurately obey the commands you send? This feeling can be directly related to a deficiency of vitamin B6, an essential nutrient for the proper functioning of the nervous and muscular system. Vitamin B6, also known as pyridoxine, participates in the production of neurotransmitters, chemicals that carry messages between the brain and muscles. When these signals are slow or flawed, leg movements become uncoordinated, reflexes decrease, and the chance of falls increases. It is also involved in the production of hemoglobin, the protein responsible for carrying oxygen in the blood. With less oxygen reaching the leg muscles, fatigue sets in quickly, and even simple activities such as walking for a few minutes become exhausting. But the benefits of B6 do not stop there. This vitamin helps reduce inflammation, relieve muscle pain, and prevent injuries caused by overload or poor posture. It also contributes to protein metabolism, a vital process for the regeneration and strengthening of leg muscles. Another important role of B6 is in preventing numbness, tingling, and pins sensations in the legs, common symptoms in nerve deficiencies. These signs, often ignored, are alerts from the body that something needs to be adjusted. Vitamin B6 deficiency can occur for a variety of reasons, such as a diet poor in nutrients, excessive alcohol consumption, long-term use of medications, or diseases that affect intestinal absorption. The best food sources of vitamin B6 include chicken, fish, such as salmon and tuna, potatoes, bananas, avocados, nuts, chickpeas, and fortified cereals. It can also be found in isolated supplements or in complexes of B vitamins. But beware, despite being a water-soluble vitamin, excessive use of supplements for long periods can cause side effects, such as numbness in the extremities. Therefore, it is essential to seek professional guidance before supplementing. With B6 at adequate levels, the body becomes more efficient in generating energy, coordinating movements, and maintaining the vitality of the legs. It's like giving a direct boost to the nervous system and returning to the muscles the response you expect in each step. 8. Vitamin C, the antioxidant power that boosts your recovery and improves circulation in the legs. When we think of vitamin C, we usually associate it with immunity. But what few know is that this vitamin is a powerful ally in leg health, acting on muscle regeneration, the integrity of blood vessels, and even pain prevention. Vitamin C is a potent antioxidant. It fights free radicals that, in excess, cause inflammation and muscle wasting. By reducing this oxidative stress, vitamin C helps keep your leg muscles healthier, with less stiffness and pain after physical exertion. It also actively participates in the synthesis of collagen, a protein essential for the health of joints, tendons, ligaments, and even blood vessels. That is, without enough vitamin C, your legs can suffer from joint pain, ligament fragility, and poor circulation. Another important benefit is its action on blood circulation. Vitamin C strengthens capillaries and improves blood flow, which is essential for keeping leg tissues well oxygenated and nourished. With this, you feel less tired, less bloating, and more energy throughout the day. It also boosts the absorption of iron, a mineral that is essential to prevent anemia and ensure that oxygen reaches the muscles efficiently. In cases of deficiency, the signs appear in the form of muscle pain, easy bruises, wounds that take time to heal, and constant feeling of weakness. The body does not store vitamin C, so it needs to be consumed daily. Fortunately, it is easy to find it in affordable foods such as oranges, acerola, kiwi, strawberries, guavas, lemons, cashews, peppers, broccoli, and kale. Consuming these foods raw or undercooked helps preserve their concentration of vitamin C, which is sensitive to heat. While supplementation is safe in most cases, too much can cause discomfort such as diarrhea or mild digestive upset. Therefore, it is always good to seek guidance before starting any supplement. Including vitamin C in your routine is a simple but powerful strategy. It improves the body's response to exertion, protects the vessels, and strengthens the structural base of the legs, providing more resistance, less pain, and better recovery. An essential ally for those who want to move forward with firm and healthy steps. 9. Iron. Oxygen in mineral form that prevents fatigue and improves muscle performance. Have you ever felt exhausted after a few minutes of walking? Or have you noticed that your legs feel heavy, as if they no longer have the energy to keep going? This sensation may be linked to iron deficiency, a mineral vital for oxygen transport in the body, and especially for muscle health. Iron is responsible for forming hemoglobin, a protein present in red blood cells. It acts as a kind of bus that takes oxygen from the lungs to the muscles. When iron is in short supply, the amount of oxygen reaching the muscle cells decreases dramatically. The result? Intense fatigue, weak legs, less physical resistance, and even dizziness. This fatigue is not only linked to exertion, but to a deficiency in the basic supply of energy for the leg muscles to function properly. Without enough oxygen, muscles cannot work efficiently and become more vulnerable to pain, stiffness, and slow recovery after exertion. In elderly people, iron deficiency can be even more impactful, since circulation tends to be naturally more compromised over time. In addition, this mineral is directly involved in the production of myoglobin, a protein that stores oxygen within the muscle tissue itself, essential for maintaining performance during physical activities. Iron deficiency can also lead to anemia, a condition that, in addition to generalized weakness, causes pallor, shortness of breath, and even cognitive changes. To prevent this condition, it is important to maintain a diet rich in iron sources. Red meat, liver, chicken, fish, beans, lentils, spinach, and beets are great allies. But beware! Iron of vegetable origin, non-hem, is less absorbed by the body. Therefore, it is essential to combine it with sources of vitamin C, such as oranges or lemons, that increase its bioavailability. Avoid consuming calcium-rich foods or coffee right after meals with iron, as these elements can hinder absorption. In cases of deficiency diagnosed by blood test, the doctor may recommend supplementation, which should be done with caution, as excess iron can also cause adverse effects. By ensuring adequate levels of this mineral, you're providing your legs with the essential fuel for movement, endurance, and vitality. With iron in charge, each step gains more strength, energy, and stability. Let's now move on to the 10th and final main topic, concluding the sequence of vitamins and minerals. 10. Zinc, the strategic nutrient that accelerates regeneration and endurance in the legs. When we talk about muscle strength and recovery, zinc often goes unnoticed. But this discrete mineral is a true strategist of the body, essential for the repair of tissues, the strengthening of the immune system, and the proper functioning of muscles, especially in the legs. Zinc acts directly on cell regeneration. Each time your muscles are strained, when climbing stairs, walking, or exercising, small micro-injuries happen to muscle fibers. These injuries are natural and are part of the strengthening process. But for there to be efficient reconstruction and increased resistance, the body needs zinc. It stimulates the production of structural proteins, helping the muscle recover faster, with less pain and more firmness. In addition, zinc has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory action, fighting oxidative stress that causes premature wear and tear on joints and muscles. This is particularly important for those who experience stiffness, pain, or swelling in their legs after physical exertion or long periods of standing. Another key role of zinc is in hormonal function. It participates in the production of testosterone and growth hormone, both of which are directly involved in the maintenance and development of muscle mass. With age, these hormones tend to decrease, and zinc can be an ally to maintain more balanced levels, preserving muscle strength and tone. Zinc deficiency also compromises the immune system, which can delay healing processes and chronic inflammation, factors that directly impact the recovery and well-being of the legs. Among the foods rich in zinc are oysters, beef, chicken, pumpkin seeds, Brazil nuts, lentils, chickpeas, and eggs. It is important to remember that zinc competes with other minerals, such as iron and copper, in absorption. Therefore, the balance between them should always be guided by a health professional, especially if there is the use of supplements. Supplementing without control can lead to the opposite effect, causing nausea, decreased immunity, and even loss of appetite. Maintaining good levels of zinc in your body is like making sure your body's repair team is always ready to spring into action. With it, your legs recover faster, gain endurance, and are prepared to sustain their independence for much longer. Perfect. Let's now go to the motivational end, ending the text in an inspiring and encouraging way. Having strong legs is much more than a matter of aesthetics or mobility. It's about freedom, independence, and quality of life. It's about being able to get out of bed safely, walk without fear of falling, walk with the ones you love, and live your days with autonomy. Each of these vitamins and minerals we've explored here plays a key role in the structure, functioning, and energy you feel in your legs every day. They are not miracle solutions, but powerful tools that, when combined with good habits, can completely transform the way you move. Now that you know the right nutrients, the next step is in your hands. Take care of your diet. Talk to your doctor about tests and possible supplementation. Include more movement in your routine, even if it's small steps. Remember, it's never too late to start. Your body has an incredible capacity for regeneration, and your legs can indeed return to being firm, confident, and ready to take you further and further. You deserve to walk with strength, with balance, and with freedom. Yes,